Yo, 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 welcome back to the Hulaham Hour. Kurtis and Nick here at your service. Man, what a crazy draft week. If I'm an Albridge's kid, I bet my ass is pretty chapped.
Wait, that's a prank too.
Oh, let's kick it. Welcome back, everybody. It is April 30th, 2025. This is episode number 22. How's it going this week, Nick?
It's going good, man. A lot of good sports on. Can't complain.
Dude, lots of good sports. It's April. It's the last day of April. It's finally starting to get warm out. Golf's in full swing. Very excited about a lot of stuff this week. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2025 NFL Draft has come to an end. And I think, Nick, we're both very thankful for that. As much as we love the draft, I am so ready to have the talking heads have something to talk about again, other than making speculations about my Detroit Lions players and their cryptic messages. Which, let's start off with that. Talked last week how Jameson Williams potentially was up on the chopping block. Apparently that is not true, as the Lions have exercised Aiden Hutchinson and Jameson Williams fifth-year options. What are your thoughts on that?
Dude, I wasn't upset either way. I love Jameson Williams, but if we could have got somebody that did the same thing, wouldn't have been as torn about that one. But yeah, duh, they'd be retarded not to pick up Hutchinson.
Yeah, Hutchinson for sure. You know, that's a no-brainer. I don't know. I thought maybe they'd rework it, just trying to make him a deal, but I don't mind exercising the fifth-year option because I know we'll make it happen with Hutchinson to keep him. You know, if J-Mo goes somewhere. Receivers anymore. He's an awesome asset. He's just such a liability off the field. So, you know, is what it is. But I do love yelling J-Mo at the games. That is fun. That is super fun, and I absolutely love screaming that. Yeah, so that was cool. That was really good news. I was very happy to hear that. Definitely wanted to retain both of those players. So we'll start with the biggest headline from the draft. Well, I wouldn't so much say the biggest headline, but we'll just dive into this, and then we're going to get into all the Lions draft picks here. The prank call to Shedeur Sanders, who was the biggest headline of the draft. He would not have probably been the biggest headline of the draft had he gone in the first round, but he did not go in the first round. He did not even go into the second round or the third round or the fourth round for that matter. That man went in the fifth and was the last pick the Cleveland Browns had after they'd already taken Dillon Gabriel in the third round. Now, the Browns, which is another discussion here in a minute. However, what are your thoughts on the slide of Sanders?
I think it was the NFL making a statement. You're not going to come in here with your big showboat bullshit like Dion does. You are nobody. You've done nothing in the NFL just because your dad did. Welcome to the NFL.
Yeah.
Fight for your spot.
Well, shout out Brian on this one, but I was told that, Shilo Sanders, who did not get drafted, got picked up as a, unrestricted free agent or whatever after the draft by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And in one of his little interviews that they were doing, it was quoted with him saying, our dad's been our agent, and he didn't really get the job done, so now we are signing new agents, which might be the ticket. The whole clip of his like confidence, Shedeur's confidence in that press conference at, I believe, the Combine, where he's like, if you ain't trying to change the culture, whatever the hell he was saying, like, you either take that as, okay, I really want that, or you take it as him trying to be as cocky without the provenness. I just don't know. I seen a funny video that it was like Colorado unretires Shedeur's number after falling to the fifth round. But
So,
hands
did
down,
you see the video?
what?
Did you
Go.
see the video of him and Cam Ward?
Yeah. Oh yeah. How? Yeah. It's just
Hey,
unbelievable.
let's make a music video. He goes, nah, man, I'm a football player.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that's just a mindset difference right there.
Yeah,
Cam
and that's
Ward's
why
like,
Cam
"Get the
Ward
fuck
went
out of
number
here."
1, and that's why Shedeur Sanders went in the 5th round. That's 100% why. It's just,
Yeah.
I understand having, when you're established as a football player, then you may look into doing some other shit. But, I just don't. You have to know your place. And, yeah, he's been handed a whole bunch. And, yeah, he's appreciative. He's like, oh, my dad's done all this. Look around, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, man, I don't know. It's proof in the pudding that all in all, it doesn't matter who you are, that it does go off film because a lot of people are still blaming film. But I still go back to that Family Guy clip where Peter's in an interview. And the guy's like, where do you see yourself in 5 years, Peter? And he's like, don't say doing your wife, don't say doing your wife, don't say doing your wife. Doing your son? That was Shedeur Sanders in all of his interviews. That's the only thing I can come up with. I mean, congratulations to all the quarterbacks that went ahead of him. However, this is definitely, hands down, probably, if not the number 1, top 3 draft slides of all time. It's unbelievable. Yeah, slap to the face. However, it might be a wake-up call for him. And who knows? Maybe he'll come in the league and just ball. I don't see that happening, especially in the situation he's in Cleveland, which is a good segue into that conversation. So, Nick, fill us in on the Browns' laughable quarterback room.
I'm calling this right now. Starting quarterback week 1 is going to be 41-year-old Joe Flacco.
You really think so?
Dude, he didn't play bad last year. He actually gave them a chance to win.
He did.
And I don't know if either of them quarterbacks are going to be NFL ready week 1. I'm not saying he's going to be the year starter. I'm saying he's the week 1 starter.
That's a very good possibility. If I'm Kenny Pickett, I'm pissed. I'm like so pissed. Like, I'm just like, what the fuck happened? Like, I went from playing on the Philadelphia Eagles to winning a Super Bowl. Now I'm in Cleveland. It's like, I mean, if you think about it, he's what would be their second string option if you went like Flacco, Pickett, Gabriel, Sanders, because you got to put Watson at the bottom because he's out.
Yeah.
So it's just, I don't know. It just seems unreal to me. But maybe this is what they wanted was maybe they're looking at now having just a 3-way quarterback battle between the 2 they just drafted and Pickett and have Joe Flacco be more of a, I don't want to say bridge quarterback, but more of a leader, like a leadership role, like a coaching role.
Oh, yeah.
Which I think he'll do regardless, and it could be that he plays the entire season as quarterback and then they hand the reins to one of those 3 that they feels fit. So, but we'll see.
See, I like the quarterback battle, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I've always thought a good quarterback competition's healthy. Just like right now, Pittsburgh is going to have a quarterback battle between Will Howard and Mason Rudolph. And I'm okay with that.
Oh, no, bro. Rodgers is going there, and he's going to start.
You watch your whore
guaranteed
mouth.
now. Dude, he's fucking going there. That's why they didn't draft a quarterback so high. He's totally on his way.
Yeah, dude, but okay, I want you to think about this. They even if they would have taken Shedeur at 21, I don't think that it would be any better than what Will Howard's bringing to the table. Honestly, that was the whole thing with this quarterback class was the fact that, okay, never in a million frickin' years would, if someone was like, you want to know who the second quarterback is going to be to go in Jackson Dart, I might have believed that, but when the third one came up and it was Jalen Milroe, that was going to be my last guess. It was an unbelievably wild roller coaster draft. I find it funny that so the announcers came on and said over 250,000 people are here, and I'm like, dude, that does not look anywhere near what Detroit had last year. And then the commissioner comes out and says, I want to thank the over 125,000 people in attendance. I'm like, and then I see a post that says, overall, the entire week, there was 600,000 people that came. So Detroit still holds the record for largest draft in-your-face Green Bay. I'm also a huge fan of all the shots that were taken at Green Bay. I think it's absolutely hilarious. Like,
and the Bears.
Yeah, and the Bears especially. Just like Clay Matthews coming out in the beginning of it and just absolutely tearing the Bears a new asshole. like, I just got off the phone with President Donald Trump, and he has a message that the Bears still suck. And then Terrion Arnold doing his thing saying, a year ago to this weekend, I cried because I thought I was going to be a Packer, but then I got drafted by the Kings of the NFC North. I'm like, this is why, like, I just, like, Terrion Arnold, man, I hope you can get it together because you're such a personality, and I love seeing you just as the face of Detroit, and just keep your goddamn hands in your pockets and play defense better, and you'll be a force. But I thought it was just great. The draft was good. I mean, Green Bay hosted a really good draft. I thought there was a lot of really weird shit, like when Colleen Wolfe and her counterpartner there came out and announced, I don't know if you saw this or not, they came out and announced the date for the schedule release.
Yeah, May 14th, isn't it?
Yeah, but did you see them come out and announce that?
No.
Dude, it was the dumbest shit I've ever saw. They could have sent out a mute kid to announce it, and it would have been more enjoyable to watch than those two women doing what they did. It was just, it was terrible. Unbelievable. Never do that again on NFL Network. That was awful. I also noticed another thing that I thought was kind of odd. So, day one, I watched ESPN. I watched the ESPN broadcast of the draft. Mel Kiper bitching the whole time about, Shedeur not going, and then him going over the whole list of quarterbacks that he said should have been taken, that weren't, all this, and it goes on and on. ESPN's broadcast booth was right in front of the stage. And when I tuned into day 2 and 3, I tuned into NFL Network. They got NFL Network behind the 200,000 person crowd. So I don't know what the deal with that is, because NFL Network and NFL and ESPN, granted, kind of should get the same treatment. I mean, I just, especially, like, NFL's the NFL Network. All they cover is the NFL. I get ESPN as a giant conglomerate sports network. I don't know. I thought NFL Network got shunned. I thought they got shunned for sure.
I'm going to be dead honest. I didn't even have the volume on the draft. It was on my side TV while I watched playoff sports.
Yeah, Nick, we'll get to that. I know. Playoffs are in full swing. All right, so yes, how we kicked off the episode today was talking about that prank call. Say what you want. It is laughable, however. It is a terrible thing to do to a human being, especially with what was going on, with him and not actually knowing when he's going. A lot of guys, especially day one, they kind of know. They kind of know where they're going. They kind of have talked with the team already. They kind of got a really good idea, unless some shit happens like what happened with Jacksonville. But, yeah, what are your overall thoughts on that prank call, man?
So let me start out by saying I was reading that 6 other people got prank phone called in the first round, really. Like Mason Graham got prank phone called. Abdul Carter got prank phone called. And he was the fucking 3rd pick. Somebody prank phone called them and they were Jacksonville with the 2 pick. And just a lot of them didn't get on the news like Shedeur. But there was like 6 different people. And let me start off by saying, that Albrecht's son is not a kid. He is 21 years old. And what a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
It'd be like saying, hey, man, I just lit your house on fire, but I really didn't mean to hurt you or do any damage. Like, I really didn't mean to. I just lit a fire.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Falcons got fined 250 bands, and Ulrich himself got fined $100,000, of which I hope he takes out of his son's college fund and tells his son, have fun. Dumb shit. So, do you know, was the same group of kids behind the other prank calls too?
They're saying no, but they're still investigating it.
Well, because that just seems unbelievable to me that those numbers are just that accessible.
Well, I get Ulrichs, though. He took it off his dad's iPad at home. He's going out for scouting and shit. Like, that's why he got fined, though, for not protecting sensitive information.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, because they give they give another phone with another number just for that, I believe.
Yeah, and this
The league
fucking
does.
guy.
Wow.
What an idiot. At first, when I heard it, it was like his son. I'm like, oh, this guy's like 14 or something. No, this motherfucker's 21. He ain't a kid. He's a grown-ass adult who's a fucking idiot.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. I don't know. The whole thing, again, like I said, you can laugh at it, but messed up. And
yeah,
especially with what happened with him, just unbelievable.
And however, you don't think Shedeur felt bad enough, though, as he's sliding down the draft board? Like, really?
Yep.
Leave the guy alone.
Yeah. Well, and I wish him well in the league. I do. It's hard to say he even has a prayer right now with the situation he's in. But we'll see. Maybe the Browns will turn it around. I highly doubt it, but you never know.
See, this is the first time in life, though, he's out from under his daddy's thumb as his coach.
Yeah.
So I'm really curious to see how he is as a man and a player on his own.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, definitely. Definitely.
There ain't no daddy for you.
Yeah, it'll be fun to watch him grow and blossom in the league. And maybe they just did this knowing, all right, we'll just trade one of these guys to somebody. You know what I mean? Like maybe they've got another hidden agenda as to why they have 1,500 quarterbacks, but who knows? We'll see. Time will tell.
Well, it all comes down to the fact that you still suck every year, so you might as well try out 5 of them.
Yeah, Browns, you suck. Myles Garrett should have came to Detroit, brought us home a Super Bowl, but I get money talks.
He was just trying to run.
Myles Garrett is the definition of money talks, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah, you can write the nicest letter on planet Earth, pen it, sign, mail it, put it all over social media. Here's $180 million. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, go back home.
Yep. Yeah, so Jags definitely shook up the beginning of the draft. I think that it's a great move and a great fit for Travis Hunter in Jacksonville. I think they definitely needed a cornerback and they definitely needed a wide receiver. It sounds like that they're going to let him do that. I don't think to the degree that he played in college. You just cannot do that at the NFL level. However, what are your thoughts on the Jags doing their trade up to do what they're doing?
I think it was a good trade up, but that's my fear. I think they are going to try to play him 80-85% of the snaps, and they're going to fucking kill the guy.
Yeah, we'll see.
It's just not feasible. And he's not that big.
It's not. We'll see. He's a freak, though. I mean, maybe he'll do it and do it well and prove us wrong. However, overall, I believe they traded with Cleveland, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So with Cleveland doing that, I just don't understand why, really. They still took who they took. Do you think they did that to get Jacksonville's first-round pick next year, hoping that Jacksonville still sucks? Because, really, I think that Travis Hunter might be their missing element as a playmaker. I mean, not that they're going to be, like, super ultra good all of a sudden, but I think they're definitely more of a playoff contender now.
Yeah, I don't think that was Cleveland's intention. I think they had their own game plan, and they just didn't see Travis Hunter. I don't think they were willing to play him both ways like he wanted.
Yeah.
I think that's what it come down to. Do you waste a second pick on somebody that says he's going to sit out if he can't? Nah. Let's trade down a couple.
So, the GM of the Jacksonville Jaguars, his name's James Gladstone. You know anything about him? Youngest GM in the NFL ever. He's 34. And it's just funny to me because he looks like he's 24. And it's just so funny to me for him to be doing what he's doing. I don't know. It's just odd. But hey, that's the new league, trying all this new stuff, trying with the younger people. Look what Sean McVay did when he was so young with LA, the Rams, So good luck to him. Good luck to him. All right, so let's get in a little bit to the Lions picks here. So draft grades, asterisk. Draft grades are horse shit. Because they just are. However, it's a talking point. Lions got an overall of a B, which I could not disagree with, but I could not agree with more. So day 1, we got a B+. Day 2, we got a C. And day 3, we got an A-. So we ended up having our first-round pick, second-round pick, third-round pick, no fourth round, but a 5th, 6th, and 2 7ths. We ended up, after the third round, not having another pick until the 6th round, but traded back into the 5th round, with one of our 6th rounds, I think, and one of our 6th rounds possibly next year or something. But who was your favorite pick of the Lions?
I don't know if I really have a favorite. I mean, I like the first pick that we got, but I kind of wanted to see an edge rusher.
Yeah, which we did get an edge rusher, and I'm really excited to see if he's going to be worth anything. Because if you look at the past, a lot of the best edge rushers in the league didn't come in the first, second, third round. I mean, Max Crosby, I think, was a 4th or a 5th round pick. And he's a beast. So we'll see. Because I watched some of his tape. I think he's a monster. This Hassian. I don't even know how the hell to pronounce his last name. I'm butchering it. Sorry, young man. However, I really hope he's good. But the defensive tag that Williams we got from Ohio State, I think that's a huge talent to have on the inside of our line, which has been weak for a number of years. So it'll be good to see that interior part of our line be awesome too. I also know that the wide receiver we drafted and that Isaac Tesla, I think he's going to be good. I think he'll be able to be a really good slot receiver. And beefing up our offensive line with a couple of guards, dude, that we desperately needed because we need depth there. That's what we've been lacking for a long time. We've had some really good players, but it's just hard to stay healthy, and it's hard to stay healthy in that position when you're getting shoved on your ass 70 times a game. So, yeah. First round, pick 28, we took Talik Williams from Ohio State, defensive tackle. Round number 2, we took Tate Rutledge from Georgia. Pick number 70 in round 3, we took Isaac Tesla from Arkansas, wide receiver. Pick number 171 in round 5, we took guard Miles Frazier from LSU. I just feel like it's hard to bet against. I mean, look, we took all the players we took were from the SEC or Big Ten except for Boise State. And it's just kind of hard to knock a pick that's outside of that because it just seems like the talent is so immense in those two conferences because they are the power two in the NCAA anymore. I don't think anybody would disagree with that.
No.
So, yeah, it says the Lions chose to take talented Williams over an edge rusher, which there was still some talented edge rushers that kind of fell in the draft. I mean, shoot, even that corner from Michigan there fell to the second round, and he ended up going to the Cardinals. And that was a steal. That's a steal, dude. He was probably the most talented DB in the draft. And for him to go that late, kind of wild.
Personally, I think these guys not working out at the combine and shit is finally going to start biting them in the ass.
I think you're right, and I'm glad about that. We had this conversation in a previous episode for you consistent hula hammers here. But for you non-consistent ones, yeah, we had this conversation about how why wouldn't you throw? What do you have to hide? Look at Tyler Shuck. The man didn't hit the broadside of dick and still got drafted higher because of it. I mean, you've seen the video, Nick. It's like, this is who the Saints drafted over Shedeur, and it's just him just throwing friggin' rocks at the combine, man. But, shout out Tyler Shuck because I hope you have a successful career, man. I mean, you're like 107, in football years, so you got a lot of wisdom. But you're in a pretty shitty situation down there in New Orleans, so good luck to you. Good luck to you. But, yeah, so, and then we took Hamad Hassan. I can't fucking say that, man. I don't know.
You're never announcing a draft pick in your life.
Hamid Hassayanana. Dan Jackson, safety from Georgia with number 230, round 7 pick, and wide receiver Dominic Lovett from Georgia with our 244th pick of the NFL draft. So, yeah, definitely, like I said, yeah, it beefed up our line. It was a good draft. I'd give it a B, though. I'd give it a B grade. What would you give it?
Yeah, I'd give it a B.
Yeah, not a B plus, not a B minus, just a flat, solid B. Okay.
Congratulations, you are slightly above average.
Yeah, I kind of would have liked to see Matthew Golden slip down to us. It would have been cool to see us take him. That would have been a dub.
And in today's day and age, you can never have enough receivers because they're gonna get hurt.
Dude, for real though, like, you know, if you think about it, our number 1 receiver is Amara. He's not your typical number 1.
No,
He's not. A number 1. A number 1 in my eyes is somebody that's like a Calvin Johnson or a Julio Jones or a DeAndre Hopkins in his prime, that stretches the field, or like a Mike Evans who can stretch the field but also has that big body build to be able to go up and get everything. On Amara, yes, he's a tank. He's an absolute unit and a very, very good football player and a very good athlete, and he's a beast. But he's just not your typical number 1. I'm not saying he's not a number 1. It's just not typical.
Him and Cooper Kupp, it's just a different style.
Yep. But yeah, shout out Tom Grossi. You got to announce a pick for the Packers. That's super cool. That was really cool to see him get a chance to do that. All right. Any other draft shakeups or anything you want to cover on the draft before we move on to the rest of our sports here? Because I'm sure I'm missing something, but I think that kind of wraps up what I had. Damn, the Vikings only had 5 picks. What queers.
Dude, I think the Giants had a great draft, and getting Cam Scatterbo when they did, holy shit.
Yeah.
That could be a hell of a steal.
Yeah, he could end up being a monster. And if Jackson Dart ends up working out, who knows, man? I mean, I have to imagine that they're going to rock Russell this year as the starter. I just do. But, you know, it would be very healthy if they just put the 3 of them up for a quarterback competition, because they're all 3 new to the team, period. I mean, in all reality, yes, you have the NFL experience that Wilson and Winston bring to the table. However, it's a new offensive playbook for everybody. So
I think personally, you sit him if Russell starts winning games and let him learn. Yeah, if you start out 1-9, then yeah.
Yeah, but then there's also the negative side of that, to where you kill their confidence.
Because he's on the Giants, so he better get a fucking strong vote of confidence.
Yeah.
New York football.
Yeah. Excuse me.
Watch Justin Fields get hit about 8,000 times this year. You're going to watch Russell Wilson get massacred.
Yeah, it looks like the Eagles replaced a lot of their stuff. A lot of their defense, their whole defense.
They've had a great draft strategy for years.
Yeah. My God, they had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 fucking picks.
That's what happens when you let your superstars go. You get a bunch of shit back and you rebuild.
Yeah. Yeah. Steelers.
Yeah, let's talk about the Steelers.
Yeah, okay. This was not a quarterback-oriented class. And at least they drafted one. That's where I'm coming from. Because at least it gives me a little bit of shed light of hope that they're not going to pick up Rodgers. I still think they could pick up Kirk Cousins in a trade somehow, but I don't know what you trade for him besides a box of Twinkies and a 6-pack of Pabst Blue Ribbon. But
George Pickens.
I don't know. The defensive tackle, Derek Harmon from Oregon, that's a great pick. The running back from Iowa, Johnson's a great pick. You know, the edge rusher, Jack Sawyer from Ohio State's another pretty solid pick. But after they didn't take Shedeur in the first, it was kind of like, okay, maybe they'll get him in the second. And then they don't. And then they don't. Or I'm sorry, no, they don't have a pick till the third round. That's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God, dude. A
little stressed out, eh?
It's just kind of ridiculous. Like, I don't. Again. But the Steelers, they gave the Steelers an A grade on the draft. A all 3 days.
The way they drafted tells me that there's more to these Aaron Rodgers talks than anybody in the public actually knows, though. I mean, honestly, because I'm sure if they draft somebody in the first 3 rounds, he already told them, I'm not coming. Dude, it's happening, buddy.
Make you eat your words.
No, he's going to make you eat yours.
Aaron Rodgers will never make me do anything against my own will.
Dude, that ayahuasca, you're not going to know what fucking day it is.
Oh, man. Well, we'll see. So, but yeah, time will tell. Will Howard, best of luck. I think you'll beat Mason Rudolph out in a battle, but who knows, man.
That's pretty high.
My God, the San Francisco 49ers had 1,486 picks. So did the Seattle Seahawks. Damn. Yeah, what are your thoughts on the Seahawks taking Jalen Milroe in the third round?
See, I actually don't mind that because he's got the athletic ability and he's got the arm. He just needs to learn more. And I think he's coming as a backup. He knows he is. And I think if he can learn some more, he could actually be a decent player.
Yeah, but the play style from Jalen Milroe to Sam Darnold is just... I mean, normally, if you're going to get somebody to like mentor a quarterback in the league, you get somebody that has similar playing styles. I don't know. We'll see. But I also think Sam Darnold just had a fluke year. I really do. I think he got gifted one of the best wide receivers duos in the league and had a line. And we'll see. We'll see what happens out west for him. But I don't know. I'd still think, they wanted, I don't know. We'll see. Jalen Milroe could come in the league and kill it. Because look at, holy shit, Jalen Hurts. Look at him coming in the league in the third or fourth round, kind of undervalued, all that kind of shit, a big quarterback draft class, and doing what he's doing now. So time will tell. Time will tell.
Listen to somebody that watched a lot of Alabama. I think in a couple of years he'll be okay, but I don't think coming out the gate he's coming out and killing shit.
No. God, did NFL
he runs a 4.40 though, and he's huge, so he's got that going for him.
NFL.com. You need to be more critical. And I say this because they didn't give anybody a lower grade than a B-.
Yeah, there's definitely some failures. There is every year.
Yeah, no one's got the Saints got a B-, which, I mean, I don't know. It looks like that Kyler, or what's his name, Kellen Moore just stood blindfolded in front of a draft board full of names and threw the darts at the board and just drafted them.
I don't think they should be able to even give out grades until like week 6 of the regular season.
For sure. But it's also fun to see the comparison as to how terrible we are at actually doing this. That's facts.
Yeah.
That's facts. So, yeah. All right. Good draft. Glad it's over. Ready to move on. I think we got the schedule announcement coming up in a couple of weeks. We have mini camps coming up starting in the end of May, beginning of June, towards the end of June. Then we're going to be jumping right in. Tickets will go on sale for regular season games in July. In late August will be everybody's fantasy football drafts and preseason football. So we are getting close. Let's see, where are we at on the countdown? Let's see. 130 days. 130 days. Cherish it.
Yeah, we'll be freezing our ass off by the time football starts.
No, don't say that. We won't be freezing until like November or December. All right. Okay. So that'll wrap up football talk this week. Till I have a squirrel moment in about 5 minutes and remember something I forgot from the draft. However, moving on. Woo. All right. So the Zurich Classic of New Orleans. Looks like the winners this year were Andrew Novak and Ben Griffin at 28 under par. 1.3 million winnings, 400 FedEx Cup points. Now, do they split those 400 points? No, they each get 400 points.
And the money.
Nice. Oh, they each get 1.3 mil. Nice. Yeah. Well, that's legit.
And they get their exemptions for the majors and everything else for the rest of the year.
Well, that's cool. That's super cool. Good for them.
So I watched that. That was some pretty fun golf to watch on Sunday. It was another kind of scenario of who wants to lose it more. And then on 17, Ben Griffin, nobody's birdied 17 all day, hit like a 31-foot putt. That was crazy, downhill right to left and left to right, and it was just unbelievable to put him up. And that's what ended up winning it. It was pretty cool to watch.
Yeah, it's awesome. Golf's always fun to watch. I caught a little bit. I didn't catch as much of the New Orleans ones because when I was watching TV on Sunday, they were in a weather delay down in New Orleans. So I flipped on. You mentioned to me that Liv was on, and I tuned that on, and man, that was fun to watch. I don't know, their broadcast style is fun. I like their ticker a little bit better. It's fun watching the guys that I don't get to watch very much, and Bryson DeChambeau and Brooks Koepka and Shane Hatton and all them guys. Like, it's almost like that's where all the personality went from the league. Like, all the big personalities from the PGA left and went to Liv. I really hope they get this merger figured out because it's starting to get frustrating having to have 15 TVs in my living room, no wall space left. It's just ridiculous.
I know, I'm getting there. Jeez.
Yeah, dude, you do have room for one more. You do.
I know I do. It'll come eventually.
Yes, it will. That's what she said. Yeah, so congrats, Ben Griffin and Andrew Novak, on your victory.
And what's kind of cool for me about that is Novak is the one who lost to Justin Thomas last week in the playoff.
Yeah, he's been playing some good golf this year.
And that was his both their first ever PGA Tour wins.
That's awesome. Congratulations to both of them.
Yeah, it didn't kill his confidence, apparently, because that's got to be hard. You get to a playoff.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, dude, and then some. Like, yeah, I mean, look at Rory's meltdown last year.
Yeah.
It's proving the pudding.
So, congrats, guys. That was cool. It was fun to watch.
Yeah, for sure. So, this weekend, it's the CJ Cup, Byron Nelson, down in McKinney, Texas. Then we got the Truist Championship in Philly from the 8th to the 11th. And we also have the One Flight Myrtle Beach Classic that same weekend. And then we have the PGA Championship. I'm really looking forward to the PGA Championship. Xander won it last year. Looks like, the Truist Championship last year was won by Rory. So maybe, is Rory planning, is that going to be his thing to come back to, that Truist Championship, probably to defend? I knew he said he was taking some time off at the Masters.
I haven't read on a timeline on him. That's all I've seen. I would say probably. Usually, if you won last year, you're going to come back and try to defend.
Yeah, so I would say he'd probably take this weekend off and come back for that. That would make sense, and that keeps him very much in the running for FedEx Cup standings.
I do know Scotty's playing this week.
Good.
He's not very happy with his game this year.
Yeah, but it is what it is, man. You're going to have up and down years, and how he comes back from it, we'll see. I'm sure he'll come back strong. I'm sure he will.
Well, his down year is he's still like number 4 in the FedEx points.
I know.
He just hasn't won one this year.
Unbelievable to me.
So, yeah, it's such a down year. Oh, my God.
Yeah. I know.
I didn't win the Masters. Fuck, I'm a failure.
Big old bug. Okay. So, Liv Golf was fun. I'm trying to look up. I looked up earlier. Schedule completed. Yeah, so Joaquin Niemann won the Mexico City Liv Golf outing over the weekend. But Legion 13 ended up taking the team victory with 28 under. And Joaquin Niemann's team was 21 under as a whole, while Joaquin Niemann was 16 under by himself. That's
You're
insane.
All fired.
Yeah, Bryson DeChambeau was kind of in the same boat. He finished second, tied with Lucas Herbert at 13 under. John Rahm finished fourth at 12. Tyrell Hatton at 11 under. Like I said, it was fun to watch because their broadcast style is different. The people are just more engaged in it, I feel like. I don't know. And it was really cool because in Mexico City, they're at like 8,000 foot elevation. So Bryson DeChambeau's average drives were like 375 yards that week, which is freaking cool. I mean, seriously, like he had, I think in his range sesh, he ended up having 404 when he did his long drive swing, that's not as controlled. He hit 404. So, I mean, damn, that's pretty crazy. So, shout out Bryson. Hope you get it together a little bit better. I know it kind of had a little bit of a putting meltdown there at the end of this week, but hey, it is what it is, man. You're still playing really good golf and still got a lot of really great golf ahead of you. So, all right, the upcoming schedule for Liv. Liv is in South Korea this weekend, actually, for the Jack Nicklaus Golf Club. So that'll be fun. I'll have to tune into that. But then they are off for almost a month. Damn, that's whack.
Yeah, that's Liv.
That's Liv. Yeah, got all this money, but let's just never play golf. Okay. Well, I think that wraps up golf for us this week. I still haven't seen any updates on TGL, but I'm sure it's still early. I'm just excited. So, all right, Nick, I will let you take the lead here now. Break down our NHL playoffs for us, man. It's been some exciting ass hockey to watch, and I know you've been itching since we started the episode to get launched on it. So, give us a good summary, man. What's going on?
Dude, these playoffs have been hard-hitting, suspensions, game misconducts. They haven't really let them fight as much, but there hasn't even been a need to. Ovechkin had probably the best penalty call I've seen when he laid that fucker out. I mean,
Yeah,
laid him
dude.
out. His stick goes flying.
Yep.
That's about as blatant as you get. And nobody said anything because it's Ovechkin. If that was anybody else, he's getting a game suspension.
Yeah.
So that series is on right now. That's been fun to watch.
Yes.
Hope Washington wraps it up tonight.
Me too.
Up 3-1. I'm rooting for Ovi this year. I am.
Yep.
And then
I'm a
Hurricanes
pick.
clinched in double OT last night. They look pretty good. I'm kind of surprised the Devils had kind of a poor showing this playoffs. They got a lot of talent to have such a poor showing.
Yeah, because they played every game pretty close, if I'm recalling right. And, Carolina's a really good team, hence their number 2 seed. But, yeah, I think you're right. I think New Jersey kind of caught the short end, and they got a bright future.
Carolina's probably one of the best 5-on-5 teams in the league for sure.
Yeah.
It's nuts. And the biggest one I want to talk about, holy shit, we talked about Toronto. Dun, dun, the beginning of the collapse. It's like you can feel the air getting sucked out of Toronto right now.
They're still up 3-2.
Yeah, and they were up 3-0.
Yeah. I know.
They're going back to Ottawa for Game 6, and I really think if Ottawa wins Game 6, I could see another epic collapse here by Toronto.
Yeah.
This would just be an absolute heartbreaker, though. Then the Kings and Oilers, that's been a great series so far. Edmonton surprisingly up. I watched that game the other day where they came back by 3 goals. Absolutely nuts. I mean, it was fun to watch, though. And then Dallas and Avs, that's been an interesting series. The Avs have pretty much controlled the series, but they're down 3-2. Dallas went on a 3-game stretch where they led 63 seconds and won 2 of the games.
I'd said the stat I was just going to bring up. I was going to say when I had them on the other day, they put that stat up, and I'm like, how in the world?
literally leave it tied until a minute left, and then they
Yeah.
score, apparently.
Just crazy, man.
And my favorite so far, it kicks off here shortly, has been the Battle of Florida. So here's a stat for you. The winner of this series the last 5 years has made it to the Stanley Cup.
These guys have played each other in the playoffs the last 5 years.
Yep.
That's insane.
So if Tampa did 3 in a row, and then Florida's gone the last 2.
Wow, dude.
So the winner of the series,
that like incredibly hard to believe, but I just that's wild.
yeah.
That's nuts.
So apparently the winner of this series is just going to end up in the Stanley Cup. Just fucking pencil my Panthers in.
Yeah.
So they
Except
kick
that
off,
part.
trying to
Except
close
that
them
part
out.
where they're gonna have to play the Capitals.
Eventually. It'll be okay.
We'll see. I've definitely caught most of what I've watched has been the Canadians and the Capitals. Washington is just playing top tier hockey. Caught a little bit last night. I believe it was last night. Maybe trying to remember what game it was. I think it might have been. I think it was Senators Maple Leafs played last night, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was that game. There was a pretty blatant no call, which I love. But one player got absolutely laid out and was out for the rest of the game for the Maple Leafs. And the Maple Leafs coach went crazy, but then they ended up scoring 2 goals in like 13 seconds or some shit after that. So that was cool. That was cool to watch.
No, that was the Florida-Tampa game the other day.
Oh, was it? Okay. See, they're both red and
yeah.
blue. Okay, I'm just getting them mixed up. It's my bad. See, this.
Oh yeah, I watched that. That was hilarious. And then later on, Florida went back and scored 2 goals in the third in 13 seconds.
Yeah,
And that's how they got the lead.
Unbelievable. Now, what series was it last year in the playoffs that had the most penalty minutes in it?
Oh, I don't remember that one offhand.
I thought it was the Panthers were involved in that one.
Probably Panthers Lightning, if I had to guess. Literally before every game, they just talk about how much they despise the other team.
We're going to find out.
Yeah, and there's been a few hits in that game, like when they were losing and Kachuk laid out Hagel. I mean, just open ice, didn't have the puck, just flattened him.
Or maybe it was the most fights.
Yeah, they've really kind of got a lid on the fighting this year, though.
They do.
But they're also not calling a lot of great hits, and they're letting them play.
Well, searching most penalty minutes by both teams in a playoff game, there hasn't been. Yeah, there's not a recent one, so maybe my memory serves me incorrectly. But number 1 is Detroit Red Wings at St. Louis Blues, and it looks like there's 298 minutes of penalties in that game series. That's freaking wild, dude.
That's how tonight's game is going to be. If Florida starts to get a lead on Tampa, they're going to go right for the dome.
Yeah, I don't blame them though. You got to bring it, dude. It's the playoffs. Like the playoffs.
They're going to go for that kill shot.
It's the playoffs. Yep.
So yeah, hockey's been a blast to watch. Can't wait to watch the rest of the first round unravel here.
Yeah. Yep, it's gonna be fun. All right. Moving on. NBA. I'll lead us off on this one, and then I'll let you finish it because I know a little bit. The Pistons won last night against the Knicks, and another nail biter. This is a really good game. However, Nick, I think you can attest to these close games. I hate blaming the refs, but I love blaming the refs. Dude, there's just been a couple really close things that happened at the end of a couple games that I feel have cost the Pistons some games. Would you agree?
Yes and no. So I'll tell you why I feel differently on that. If they've been consistent, dude, they didn't call that the whole game. And the only reason it's under scrutiny is because it's at the end. And I'm fine with that. If you're going to call it one way, as long as they consistently call it, then you got to expect it.
And this channel is not supported by payment of the refs, clearly. Man, I don't know. I just feel like, well, first off, I think I sent you that headline that says Pistons Jalen Duren calls Nick star Jalen Brunson flopping motherfucker as bad blood builds. And I've been saying that about Jalen from the get, dude. Like, I even sent you that Photoshop thing that I put that was like, Jalen Brunson wins bitch player of the year in NBA. Like, I don't know, man. I just think, like, yeah, he's a great player, and I'm not taking away that from him, but he definitely is almost taking the whiny cake away from LeBron James, which is saying something. Saying something. I think it's shocking the world that the Pistons are even in this at all, because they're just talking like the Pistons shouldn't have even won a game. But I'm happy with it. You know, I don't. If the Pistons end up pulling it off, that's superb. I don't see that happening, but we'll see. So it would be great. I mean, Pistons are favored by 2.5 points. Who knows, man?
I think we can come back.
It'd be great. It would be, especially because I just feel like there's so much like positive publicity and so much negative publicity against the Pistons, and positive publicity against New York. It would just blow their minds. I think Spike Lee might have a heart attack and die.
Well, we just need to get a closer. We have great players, but it seems like in the last 3 minutes of the game, we cannot hit a clutch three.
Dude, yeah, it's been so bad. You're right. Like, I remember the first couple games, dude. It was like we were up, and then nothing.
Yeah, they hit a 3 to start a comeback, and then we can't match anything in the end of the game. You got to be able to stop that momentum, and we just can't.
No, just can't do it. Just can't do it.
Like, honestly, I think we won because Jalen Brunson and Josh Hart sat on the sideline waiting to check in for a minute and a half.
Yeah.
I mean, it didn't hurt.
Yeah. Well, shout out to the Pistons. They've been playing some really good ball. The Knicks have been playing good, too. It's been probably the most competitive series, I would say. Yeah, like even if if you're looking, the Denver Clippers one's been really close too. Yeah, but I think, to be honest with you, I think Minnesota will win tonight against LA. Golden State, they're just such a force in the playoffs, dude. And the Rockets looked so good all year. And here we are looking at Golden State moving on as a 7 seed. It's just Cleveland took care of business. Holy shit! I think I messaged you the other day. It was like, yeah, man, this Cleveland the Miami game is really close. It was a 40-point game at halftime.
Yeah. They set the record for most lopsided series win ever.
I bet they did, dude. That was an ass whooping. It was like watching grown men play toddlers.
I'm surprised OKC didn't give them a run for that one, though, because they blew them right out of the freaking water.
Yeah. Well, Thunder, they did close out their series, but their last game was 117 to 115.
Yeah, one close game. Yeah, I'm really shaking in my space boots. They probably had their fucking G League players in.
Yeah, and still won, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Denver's up 3-2 on the Clippers. Got Indiana won their series against the Bucks. That got pretty heated at the end. What were your thoughts on Giannis acting the way that he was?
Well, did you see that whole thing?
I saw the majority of it, yeah.
Halliburton's dad needs to keep his ass in the fucking stands.
Oh, 100%, dude. 100%.
You don't go up talking to players like that. You're still just a fan. I don't care if you're his dad. Keep your ass where you belong.
Flashbacks of the brawl at the Palace.
Yeah, and Giannis, and he's staring down at the guy. That's probably not the guy to do it.
No, not at all. Yeah, that was kind of wild that Giannis was literally like,
yeah,
literally, I will swallow you like a bug, you shit. I don't know.
Yeah, I know he's excited and all that, but he's got no right to talk shit.
And the Pacers are playing some good ball right now. But the Bucks, the Bucks had a really rough season. They started off terrible. They had a really good stretch, got them back in contention, get to the playoffs. I just think they had so much negativity going on around them. I don't know. It was just going to be a struggle for them. But I don't know. As good a ball as the Pacers are playing, I still don't see them competing with the Cavs to a level of taking it to a 7-game series, I could see them winning 1, maybe 2, but just...
Is that more of the Celtics I don't see Indiana competing with?
Yeah. But, winner of Pistons-Knicks will take on Boston, and I think that'll be a good series no matter what. Boston is a force to be reckoned with. However, I still do think that, Either team, New York or Detroit, could compete against Boston. So, yeah. All right. Yeah, definitely. Did you pick Cleveland to win the whole thing?
I did.
You did? God, I just can't pick an Ohio team to win the whole thing. Did I pick the Thunder?
You did.
Okay, cool. I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to stick with it, dude, because I can in my good heart as a Michigan and sports fan pick anything from Ohio.
Yeah, it says Cleveland, so I'm okay with that.
Yeah, but it's... Never mind, Nick.
Doesn't have the Ohio part in their jersey like Ohio State.
Yeah, they put the land on there.
Yeah, I don't.
What's up with that?
Add a big O in there, and then we have a problem.
Yeah. Oh man. All right. Yeah. So bringing you on the home stretch here on this Hulaham Hour. Just a real quick early season recap on the standings for the American League Central, because that's who we really care about is the Tigers, right? Tigers still in first at 19-12, still having a really good season. Really great at home, shitty on the road. 6-4 in our last 10. Guardians are in second at 16-13. Royals in third at 15-15. Twins in fourth at 13-17. And the White Sox are in last at 7-22. At least they're not. At least right now they're on. They're still on pace to do worse than last year. Congratulations, White Sox. You're still garbage. Oh man.
We feel their pain though. We went through this for a few years.
Oh, dude, are you kidding me? As a Detroit sports fan, all of our sports have been through it. We've all been through it. We really have. Okay. So with that being said, I think that wraps up another week here on the Hulaham Hour. We appreciate all the support. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Tell us how wrong we are about everything, because we are wrong about more than we are right here. All right, Nick. Till next week, brother. Another solid week. Well, we will see what conspires over the next week with the NFL. See if there's any other trades, blah, 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 blah. But until then, we are Hulaham out.